Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to talk about functions of saliva. So, functions of saliva include mechanical functions, antimicrobial actions, digestive functions, buffering actions, taste sensation, tissue repair and blood coagulation, water balance, endocrine function, excretion, tooth integrity, nerve growth factor, temperature regulation, and preparation of food for swallowing. So you can see there are so many functions of saliva, and we're going to talk about one by one about all of them. So the first function that saliva perform is mechanical functions. Mechanical functions of saliva include lubrication, that is because of water and mucin content of saliva. It helps to keep oral cavity wet and helps in speech, mastication and deglutition process, and also protects mucosa of oral cavity. Then there are also another mechanical function, that is by salivary glycoprotein, as they form lining of oral tissues and therefore prevent adhesions of microbes, microbial products and various other materials. Another function, that is mechanical function of saliva, is lavage, that is saliva helps to flush out food debris and microorganisms from the oral cavity. And saliva also helps to dilute hot and other irritant materials, therefore preventing trauma to mucosa. And then the next function of saliva is antimicrobial actions of saliva. That is, the high molecular weight glycoproteins in the saliva aggregate the microorganism and therefore help in rapid clearance from oral cavity, thereby preventing their adhesion to the oral tissue. Another antimicrobial action of saliva is by immunoglobulins. Saliva contains immunoglobulins, mainly immunoglobulin A, G, M, and also may be present. These immunoglobulins prevent the adhesion of microorganisms to oral tissue, and there's also another immunoglobulin that is called salivary immunoglobulin A, and it has additional protein that is secretory components that help in transfer of immunoglobulin A through our parenchymal cells and give resistance to hydrolysis. And the antibacterial activity of immunoglobulin A, salivary immunoglobulin A, can be because of by hiding the specific antigen responsible for adhesion, and by agglutination or clumping of bacteria which are then easily washed off, and by affecting specific enzymes necessary for bacterial metabolism. And these are three mechanisms by which salivary immunoglobulin A work as antimicrobial thing or agent in saliva. Then another antimicrobial action of saliva is by peroxidases, that are the enzyme present in saliva, and they can catalyze the reaction between the thiocyanate and hydrogen peroxide produced by microorganisms, thus leading to formation of hypothiocyanates which oxidize the bacterial enzyme, and that is bactericidal. Another antimicrobial action of saliva is by the lysozymes, that are the saliva contain enzymes that are lysozyme that can break down the bacterial cell wall, leading to lysis of cell wall of bacteria. And they are more specifically for streptococcus, staphylococcus and brucella. Another antimicrobial action of saliva is by proline rich protein that are antimicrobial properties, and lactoferrin also is an iron binding protein that is present in saliva and that can combat with free iron, therefore depriving microorganism of iron, and which is essential for multiplication and thus reducing the growth and maybe causing the death of the microorganism. Next function of saliva is digestive function of saliva, and digestive function of saliva is because of amylase, that is saliva contain amylase or ptyalin that are secreted by salivary gland, and it and act on starch and split into disaccharide. Another digestive function of saliva is by maltase, that is secreted by mysis salivary gland and convert maltose into glucose. More digestive function of saliva is because of lipase that is present in saliva and secreted by von Ebner's gland, and is most important in lipid digestion in newborn. Then we have buffering action of saliva. So buffering action of saliva is by the bicarbonate and phosphates. Bicarbonates ion come in contact with acid ion, they form carbonic acid that is formed, which is rapidly dissociated into water and carbon dioxide, thus reducing the number of acid ions in the saliva. And it also has a glycoprotein that are negatively charged residue, and silane, that is a salivary polypeptide, also reported to have a buffer capacity of saliva in the saliva. Then the buffering action of saliva is helpful in two ways. as it denies the optimum pH required for the multiplication of microorganisms, and also help to neutralize the acid produced by microorganisms, therefore preventing demineralization of enamel and dental caries. Another function of saliva is taste sensation. Taste sensation is as the saliva has a solvent action, and taste sensation can be perceived only when the substance is dissolved, and therefore the solvent action of saliva is very important in perception of taste. And also cleaning of taste buds is by the saliva, and thus it make it them ready for the next taste, and that's how it helps in taste perception. And also there's gastrin in the saliva that is present here, and it helps in development and maturation of taste buds. The other function of saliva is tissue repair and blood coagulation. As tissue repair function of saliva is considered because of presence of epidermal growth factor, which stimulates epithelial growth and therefore could be helping in wound healing. Then it has other function, that is water balance. When the water content in the body is reduced, lively secretion is decreased and mouth becomes dry. And this dryness stimulates a nerve ending in posterior aspect of tongue and initiate a reflex, that is a dry mouth reflex. And if it stimulates a slight flow as a result. But if the body is short of water, reflux does not occur, leading to drying of mouth, and this encourages individual to drink water and water balance is maintained. So it is basically whenever the water body is deficient in water, it um, encourages individuals to drink water and water balance is thus maintained. The next function is endocrine function, and endocrine function of saliva is because of some biologically active materials, for example pyrotin, that is secreted by parotid gland and is reported to promote mesenchymal tissue growth and decrease serum calcium level, promoting the mineralization of dentine in enamel. And the status of pyrotin is a true hormone has not been identified, even though but still. And the next function of saliva is excretion, as saliva acts as a route through which certain substances are excreted, such as mercury, lead, thiocyanate, ethyl alcohol, and some drugs are excreted through the saliva. And certain viruses like viruses of rabies, mumps, and poliomyelitis are also excreted through saliva. Other functions of saliva include tooth integrity. Saliva contains calcium and phosphate ion. Due to ionic exchange between the saliva and tooth, enamel undergo maturation, and due to this, enamel become harder and less permeable and more resistant to caries. So, the other function of saliva is nerve growth factor. In dermal experimental growth, it has been observed that submandibular gland secretion contain rich nerve growth factor, which greatly increase the growth of sympathetic ganglia and sensory nerve. And the other purpose of saliva is temperature regulation. It is seen in animals as they regulate their temperature through tongue and the saliva. And the other function of saliva is preparation of food for swallowing. It is by formation of bolus and moistening of bolus by mucin. So these are the functions of saliva. Hopefully you liked our video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.